developing their trauma. A life coach's job is to help a person achieve a goal. That's the core essence of a life coach, is to say, you are here where you are now in life, and you want to be here. You're currently working in a job, you want to get promoted. The life coach's job is to help them build a pathway and coach them towards getting promoted, right? How many people are parents? Oh, put it in the comments. How many of parents are in here? Parent. I'm currently this type of parent. This is the parent I am. Let's say I want to become more of a conscious parent. A life coach's job is to go, cool, what's the goal? The goal is to become a conscious parent. I'm going to help you with the strategy tools for you to become a conscious parent. Same as in relationships. Like, my goal is I want a deeper, more loving, with better sex, with better relationship. A life coach's job is to go, cool, the goal is to be there. We will help you build a pathway to get there. I want to be more empowered, more confident in life. Cool, the goal is to be empowered and confident. The life coach's job is to help build a pathway and coach them towards becoming more confident. Let me know if that makes sense. Pop it in the comments. Give me some yeses. Now, yes, some people can go down the path and the rabbit hole of dealing with trauma, and yes, that takes time, training. I've seen events where people go into the trauma of things and people having panic attacks. If a life coach is not developed to deal with those skills yet, that's not their job. So, a life coach's job, just pop this down over here so I can see. Yep. A life coach's job is to help people achieve an outcome. So, the first part of achieving an outcome is, what is my current life? What am I dealing with? How am I perceiving the world as a client? So you can understand the framework, so then we can help them get out there and achieve that goal. Does that make sense? Give me some yeses.
Yes.
Now, what happens, right, is, so right now we're going to dig into the brain. We're going to dig into the brain from the experience of life all the way down to the chemicals that are firing off during that experience of life. So what happens is, right, when people go through life, they experience events. And these events cause people to create an experience, both thoughts and emotionally, all around the world they live in. So let's say somebody is let's go parent first. Let's say someone's a parent. And let's say that person, how many people work as well? So you're a parent, right? I did see all the parents come through. How many people work as well? How many people work as well? So just like work, get your hustle on, get your grind on. How many people work? So Karen, work, yes, work. Keep going, work, yeah, okay, cool. So work, parenting, plus you've probably got a relationship. How many people in relationships? How many people have a relationship? Are you a partner? Your husband, wife, in between, married, works, not me, Robert, cool. So working, partner, plus kids. Like, we live in this busy world, right? And let's say this parent, right? This parent's going to work, they're coming home, they're working their ass off. It's like 10-hour days. And as they're coming home, all they're doing is, in their mind, is imagining that the kids are going to be bouncing off the walls. Maybe they might be sugared up. They might be just going crazy, playing with toys everywhere. And they're already rehearsing in their mind the story that it's going to be a shit fight. It's going to be a struggle as soon as they get home. Let me know if that makes sense. So what happens is, you got this person. This is going to be... no! Oh, well. There we go. That could be a neck. No chin. There you go. That's my attempt. That's probably the worst one I think I've ever done. So you got this person, right? And they're going through life and they're experiencing these experiences. So this parent here. The parent's driving home. And then what happens is, when they get home, the kids are bouncing off the walls. The kids are, they're jumping around. They want food. They want connection. They want time. They want to play. They want it all. What happens here is, firstly, you ready? How many people, quick check, how many people are into the holistic side of things? Maybe quite spiritual, and how many people are into the science? And if you're both, type both. So go, spiritual, science, both. Let me hit. Cool. We do a lot with neuroscience now, hence why we can give this stuff away for free, right? We do a lot with neuroscience, spiritual, both, empath, cool, science, both, cool. Well, I'll try and bring in as much neuroscience as possible so it can help you in what you do. So from a neuroscience perspective, right, this parent is experiencing an event. Walking through the door, toys all over the floor, kids bouncing off the walls. How they experience the event is through their senses. So this is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. So it's seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. Now, just do this. Type this in the comments. VAKOG. These are our senses. These are our senses. Now, yeah, you got that sentence. Don't mind my spelling. Bangkok. What happens here, right, is from a neuroscience perspective, what we take in, the information we take in from our senses is a non-negotiable. So we can't change that experience based on just these senses. When we walk through the door, we see what we see, we hear what we hear, we feel what we feel, we taste what we taste, we smell what we smell inside that moment. So outside of just shutting our eyes and literally not blocking our ears, shutting our eyes, what we experience is what we experience. This is a non-negotiable from a science point of view, so from neuroscience. What happens then is we then, as human beings, we delete, distort, and generalize that information. DDG. So pop DDG in the comments. DDG. Delete, distort, and generalize that information. This is now where we start to play with change. This is where we start to play with growth. This is where we start to play with expansion as a human being. Experience the event, kid bouncing off the walls. Now, how we delete, distort, and generalize this information is number one, is here's some stats, right? Type stats in the comments. Here's some stats. We're taking in anywhere from 20 million to 400 billion bits of information every second. So our unconscious mind is just getting bombarded with information all day, every day, even when we're sleeping. Technically, the brain's more active when we sleep, yet we're taking more information than when we're awake. We're taking in a puntload of information. We can only really process around 100 and let's say 26 bits of information. So out of millions of information, billions of information, we can only actually process a very small amount. It's like people, dropping matches. If somebody's dropping matches and there's 20 million matches every second, we can only grab a tiny amount of those matches. That's what we're kind of consciously experiencing. So we experience it through our senses. We delete, distort, and generalize this information. The question is, what's happening with this delete, distort, and generalize that a person's doing? Firstly, they have an internal filter, or type IR, internal representation. Our internal representation, IR, is what makes up what we delete, distort, and generalize. So, what is our internal representation? It's our belief systems, it's our emotions, it's our automatic thoughts. Type 18 in the comments. Automatic thoughts. It's going to be a big one we're working with here. Automatic thoughts. It's our moods. It's our attitudes. Now, just by us sleeping one night of less than 6 hours a night, we drastically impact the way we perceive the world. Like our emotional brain, our negative emotional brain becomes 60% more active off one night's sleep of less than 6 hours. So just one night of not sleeping well, we massively impair the way we perceive the world. Let me know if that makes sense. Give me some yeses. So our belief systems, value systems, automatic thoughts, we've got our moods, our attitudes. That all makes up our internal representation. This is all built from childhood, right? So from the moment we're born, if you believe in past lives, could be past lives, passed down through generations. This is what makes up how we then delete, distort, and generalize the information here. So let's say, for example, how many people go to the gym? Type gym in the comments. How many people hit the gym? How many people train? You might do yoga. You might do weights. You might do whatever you do, however you do it. You might just like going for walks. You exercise. You might run. Gym. Meditation's cool. So let's say somebody's really into health, right? And now let's start to dig into this. They're really into health. And as they're going to go to the gym, you know what it's like the first time you want to go do something? They want to go to the gym for the first time. And as they're walking through the door and they're experiencing that experience of walking into the gym for the first time, right? You've got a bombardment of information hitting these senses. So what are they seeing? They're seeing people running on treadmills. They're probably seeing people lift heavy weights, less weights. They're seeing people push sleds. Do you get this experience here, right? As they're walking through the door, they smell the smell. It might be nice. It might be sweat, but they experience that event. Now what happens is as they walk through the door, that internal representation starts to fire off. And what does that internal representation for most people say? It says, you're going to be judged for being too big, too small, too skinny, too fat, too pretty, too ugly. You get the gist here. this internal representation based off our belief systems digs straight into that experience. So it's not the senses that are causing things to happen. It's the internal representation. Let me know if this makes sense. Hiking's cool, nice, walking. And again, the studies, right? You're too big. You're too small. You're too ugly. You're too, like, some people have the internal representation of I'm too pretty. I'll be judged for being too pretty. Got this? So it's not a positive or negative here. It's what serves us being who we want to be. So what happens here? This internal representation fires off, and then in there it creates a state. This state is now how we solidify that experience. This state is how we solidify the experience. Now from the state, we then shoot out a behavior, and this behavior is then how we experience the world. So let's say, for example, that parent comes home, right? The kids are bouncing off the walls, there's toys everywhere, they tread on a toy. In their brain, they're like, you're so disrespectful. I was never like this as a child. I would have got smacked if I was like this as a child. I would have got the cane, whatever it is, whatever time you were born. That state now is just what? Furious, they're red. Tell me, what does this person do? What is the behavior of that parent in that moment? What is the predictable behavior based on life experience over and over again that they would do inside that scenario? Pop it in the comments. They'd snap. What we got? Yell. Yes, yelling, screaming, snapping, getting angry. What we got there? What we got? Angry, crack it, yelling. So I'm just going to go yelling. The behavior is yelling. Now, if that person wants to become more of a conscious parent, where they're aware of how they're feeling, aware of how they're acting in that moment, it's going to take some work on shifting this internal representation. Let me know if this makes sense. We can't change the senses, right? We have to go straight into the internal representation of how they're experiencing life so we can shift that so they can start to create new behaviors. Same as the gym. Let's go, that person's walking into the gym first time. As they're walking through the door, they say to themselves, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too buff, I'm not buff enough, I'm a Gumby, I'm uncoordinated, whatever word's coming out. What happens in this moment? What behavior do they have when they're walking into that gym? For most people, it's either they go to the gym once and they never go again, or they turn around and walk out of that gym. Overwhelmed, make excuses, and then they leave. So I like that, make excuses. Make excuses and they leave that gym. Here's another one. Let's say, for example, you're in a job now. We've got AI coming in. Like, the world's really shifting. Hence, big love to you for looking at becoming a life coach, because it's going to be something that can really set you up in the next 12, 24 months, 5 years, for you to have something in life. Let's say, for example, you were made redundant in life. It is very frightening of what people think. Let's say you were made redundant. So, ready? Boss calls them into the office as they hear their name on the mic. We've got clients that we work with, right? And the name of come into the boss's office. And when they hear that, their brain automatically goes, "Oh shit, what have I done?" Right? Boss calls them in. "Oh shit, what have I done?" Internal representation is, I'm deleting and distorting all that information, and then panic kicks in. That's right, panic. That state of panic right here. Now, let's say that person was made redundant. How do you think they would then behave? You got these thoughts of, what am I going to do? How am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do for my family? How am I going to, most people in America, New Zealand, Australia, most people live week to week on their income. They might have, if at max, a month's worth of income saved in the bank in case something happens. Most people, right? So in that worry, stress, freeze, shit, no, what do I do? Concern, there you go. Let's just go stress, panic. Let's say that person had a coaching business, or they had a business, or they had, they were just confident in their role and they could go get another job. That would be a completely different experience. Does this make sense? Give me some yeses. This makes sense. What we'll do, right? Just scroll down over here so I can see people's faces over here. Yep. On this one over here. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. When we look at internal representation, how many people are into this stuff? Just give me a Y here. How many people are into internal representation? Yeah, cool. I'm gonna dig it. This is more of our master level stuff. So tell you what, in a master NLP training, this is what they'd be going through. This stuff here. So enjoy it. when we look at the structure of, I'm going to dig deeper into this internal representation. When we look at the structure of how a person experiences this, there is weight on things that have more power than others in creating this change. So there's weight on belief systems, value systems, that then create and we can leverage to create change. Let me know if that makes sense. How many people remember, got some yeses, all good? All right, how many people remember, right, back in the day, I say this, and if you still have it, big love to you, I used to go to my grandma's house, and she'd have her coffee mugs hanging on the wall. So there's like a plaque on the wall. How many people? Give me some big smiles and yeses. If you still have it, big love to you. There's a big plaque on the wall, and then there was coffee mugs hanging off it. So think of this as an analogy, right? The plaque on the wall is their core belief systems. So type CB in the comments. Core belief systems. Now, our core belief systems, oh grandma, our core belief systems are our belief systems that we hold to be true, that we would fight like tooth and nail, if not fought to death for. A core belief system could be a certain type of religion. I'm a Christian and I am only a Christian. If somebody said you have to be a different religion today, their body, their brain would be like, no, I can't do that because of this belief system. Some people believe at their core that, they're just like, I'm just a healthy person, right? This is who I am. I can't do other things because that's where I am. What else we got as another good example here for this? Core belief system. Another one could be, you ready for this? A certain sex, right? Think about this. So, like at the moment, we have fucking so much controversy in the world at the moment. Some people truly believe they're not a certain sex, and some people believe they are a certain sex. You got it? This is a core belief. Does this make sense? Give me some yeses.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is off this core belief system, we have something called value systems. So type values in the comments. So think of the actual books as value systems. So let's somebody truly believes at their core that they're a healthy person, right? The value system is then that of health. So how do you know something is a value system for somebody? It's where they spend their time. So if I said to you right now, is building a coaching business important to you? And why? Just pop it in the comments. Why do you want to build a coaching business? Just pop it in the comments. Why do you want to build a coaching business? You're going to come out with words. There's going to be words along the lines of like, I want security for my family. I want a side income. I want to help people. I want freedom. I want more freedom in life. I want to be able to make a difference. I want to be able to earn money whilst making a difference in the world. So making a difference. All these side hustle. These are value systems, right? Now let's say health. If somebody said they went to the gym before, right? How you would know that that's true or not true is based on their behavior. If somebody says, I am healthy and I do healthy things, you know that because they spend their time doing healthy things. How many people believe at your core your family are important? Like how many people? Your family is, if not one of the most important things for your whole entire life, as in you would die for your family. Man, throw down some yeses. Yes. So that concept of family is, how do you know that? Because they spend their time there. Now you're ready for this. How many people have money that's important to them? Type money. Give me some dollar signs or just an M. How many people? You ready? This is how we get some really cool shit here. We start to dig into this. How many people? Dollar signs. If money is important to you. So let's say money is important to a person, but yet family is also important to a person. Guess what happens? We start to have now conflicts. Is this making sense? A value conflict is, I need to spend a lot of time making money, but that takes me away from my family. I know some people, right, and I'm not for this, but I know some people who would work from 7 a.m. till 10 at night and neglect their kids. Their kids have to fend for themselves. They, have to cook their own food. We're talking like a 9-year-old. Not a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, like a 9-year-old has to cook their own food because that parent is so hell-bent on this part of their life, money, that this is neglected. I kid you not, man, I work far less than ever before. We've just had our second child. I work far less than ever before. You go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would be working 24/7, right? Now, children have come in. that value system has completely shifted. How I would rather earn less to be there with my children, to be able to go to the beach in the morning, to be able to drop them off at school. Does this make sense? These are value systems. How do you know? If I said that to you, right? And then you're like, hold up, dude. I'm getting messages from you at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're here and you're like, if there's incongruency here, this is how you see it. Now, if you get this, when you're working with your clients and they say, I'm doing certain things or I value certain things, you tell by the behaviors they elicit in the world. Let me know if this is making sense. We started to tie it together now, right? Starting to tie together. So let's say, for example, core belief system is I'm healthy. I'm a healthy person. So health is the value. We then have of their sub-belief systems. Now, a sub-belief system might be something like I'm a carnivore or I'm a vegan. Some people hold on to that belief system at their core that they're a carnivore. So if somebody said you have to be a vegan for the day, they're like, F no, man. You can tell by the disdain in their voice that they would just never do it. Or vice versa. A vegan saying you need to be a carnivore for today. And they're like, hell no, well, I'd never do that. True. So, you've then got these surface level beliefs. So type SB, surface level beliefs. These are surface level beliefs. Now, surface level belief might be like we need to go to the gym. I go to the gym to be healthy. Got it? Value system, belief system is I'm a healthy person. Usually the I am statement is a core belief. The value system then is of health. So they spend their time doing their subjective thing. That is health. The sub-belief system is I go to the gym. So how do you know that that is a congruent value system, belief system, is they spend their time in the gym. Now, if they said, yes, I go to the gym, but they don't ever go to the gym, guess what? This is now an incongruent system. So whether it's not true or there's gaps inside the system, does this make sense? That is not congruent. I'm going to preach here, right? One of your biggest goals, mine included, is that who we think we are here at our core is who we are in the world. Now, you ready for this? What a true core belief system is, am I enough? No. We live in, 90% of the population lives in scarcity of not being enough. This is because we go to school, if we don't get grades, we're not good enough. We get left to cry as a child. We're not taught how to love. We're not taught how to feel emotions. All of these things that we experience in life create usually a belief system that I am not enough. Let me know in the comments if you agree. I am not enough. Now, if somebody believes at their core they're not enough, they may have that belief system that I want to be a healthy person. So the value system's health. That going to the gym is how they see being healthy. Yet, if the I'm not enough is strong enough, guess what it will sabotage? The process of going to the gym. Why? Because the pain of being judged, being told we're worthless, failing, is stronger than the process of feeling healthy, going to the gym. I'll hope this makes sense. The core belief system usually sits down to, am I going to be loved? Am I enough? Am I worthy of something? Can I have something? So you notice here now, right? When we that example of carnivore, anybody carnivore here? Anybody a vegan? Just pop it in, because they're polar opposites, right? And if you've had, one of the great coaching, this is more master level stuff now, right? What you do is you'd be able to negotiate and coach. And this is one of the biggest jobs, right? Of coach a vegan and a carnivore who live together to get along. Imagine that, right? This is we used to run 10-day master trainings for NLP. And one of the fun activities would be, you have to take polar opposites, conflicts. You think about the world we live in now at the moment. There's so many. Go back 10 years ago, I was like, we don't really work on conflicts here. You've got, what sex am I? You've got, am I carnivore vegan? You've got, certain religions. Imagine taking, we're talking diehard, two different religions who just, believe at their core that they're right, and going, how do we help you get along? That is politics. Oh my God, politics at the moment. Shit. US, you guys in the US, I feel for you. Politics, that's, we're talking ooh, to the opposites. Whew. I gotta get that out, I gotta breathe. All right, does this make sense? Same with family, right? Let's just go family. Family's important. So they have sub-belief systems that I need to spend time with family. Like we need a sub-belief system for family would be we need to eat together to show we love each other. So everybody has to have dinner at the table, no phones, right? My oppa, well not my oppa, my children's oppa, at the dinner table, they can't have phones on the table. Whenever in his house, no phones on the table. Got it? That's a surface level belief system that supports the family belief system. Does that make sense? How do you know it's congruent with him? He is fully congruent. Whenever he says, you pick up your phone, it's gone. Like, he is congruent there. Now, within there, spend time. So dinner at the dinner table. What are the behaviors now? The behavior is everybody eating dinner at the dinner table could be at 7 p.m. every night. Now, you then throw in there, am I enough? It starts to crack. Things start to happen. I may go, I need to spend, you ready for this? Here's a deep-seated issue that so many humans experience. I'm not enough, right? The I'm not enough says I need, like my family is the most important thing, but my family won't love me if I'm healthy, if I'm not fit, if I don't look a certain way. Remember, it's too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, too good looking, too not good looking. Whatever the pendulum is, it's the I'm not enough that's underneath it. I don't know if that makes sense. So they go, I'm going to neglect my family to go to the gym so then I can fulfill what I think I need within myself, which really what they need is self-love. Does that make sense? You get the self-love here, they don't have to go to the gym to feel worthy. They don't have to, you know that parent who's like, man, I got a family member, right? One of my sisters. They're separated from a partner. The kids, she loves her kids, like sleeping with her in a bed because she feels that connection, regardless of the parents, right? Or of the kids. It's her fulfillment that just put that on. Her fulfillment, her need to be enough is what drives that behavior. So check this out. So let's say somebody said, I want to go to the gym. And here's now where we're looking at this. Somebody said, I want to go to the gym. I want to build the behavior to go to the gym. Number one, to change a behavior takes up to, you ready for this? Data. 254 days. It takes up to 254 days to change a behavior. 254. Type 254 in the comments. We're going to now zoom through this stuff. What happens is, on these core beliefs here, we have things called automatic thoughts, AT, automatic thoughts, AT. Now, how these automatic thoughts, these are tightly linked to these core belief systems. Type AT in the comments. How these automatic thoughts work is automatic thoughts are like pop-ups on a pop-up browser. Who remembers Explorer, the old school Explorer? You turn your computer on, you'd open up Explorer, and it would just go boom, 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 and it just start popping screens up. If they're popping up quicker than you could close them, you're like, ah! That's an automatic thought. Number one, an automatic thought is something we are not conscious of. Number one, we are not consciously aware of the automatic thoughts. Does that make sense? Give me some yeses. These are unconscious, and they pop up unconsciously. That's number one. Number two, when this automatic thought pops up, it instantly creates a choice, and we create a choice inside our mind. So let's say that person's walking through the door at the gym, automatic thought pops up. If you go through here, people would judge you because you're a Gumby. You ready for this? Here's the data we have from clients. Looking in the mirror, I want to wear a certain outfit to go out for dinner, to go to work. And they look in the mirror and they say to themselves, you want to go deep? Just type deep here. Just type deep. If you want to go, I'm going to say this if you want to go here. I have to get enough though, because it's pretty deep. I'm going to swear, and I do apologize for swearing. All right, we're going deep. All right, that's enough. That's more than enough. Slow down. Yeah, you ready for this, right? They look in the mirror and they think to themselves, if I wear this outfit, you will look like a fat bitch. People will think you're a slut, and they will hate you. Holla, men, women, anything in between, if you've ever experienced something like that in your life. Now, this happens automatically. So we've got the data of their brain firing it off day in and day out. This is the I'm not enough. So that creates a choice. The choice is now I'm not going to wear this outfit. So this choice now creates a behavior. The behavior is I will find another outfit. I now get another outfit, put it on. Are you ready for this? This then creates an experience. Now, what happens to that person who wanted to wear a certain thing? They wanted to wear a certain outfit, right? And they didn't because they negatively, This is now called a negative, an automatic negative thought, right? They talk themselves out of it because they're not congruent with who they think they are, who they want to be. This creates that experience. What do you think they feel with that experience? What do you think they feel? They're now walking out the door thinking, I really wanted to wear the jacket. There's something else. The parent walked in and I was like, they walk in the door, they see the kids' toys on the floor, they cut nuts. That's the choice. Choice is I've cut nuts. The behavior is now I'm cutting nuts. The experience is me cutting nuts. That client is cutting nuts. How do they feel? You're worthless, insecure. Man, they feel disappointed. They feel guilty. Now we're talking about they feel angry. They feel frustrated. Now all these negative emotions are starting to filter through. This is now the emotions. And what happens is our emotions are tightly linked up to those automatic thoughts. So, a person goes through life. Automatic thoughts fire off that support a core belief system. That goes down to a value system to where they then throw out their surface level beliefs and behaviors. Holler if this makes sense. Ashamed, unattractive, feeling it, yeah. That is now the mental thought process that a person goes through. Now, how do we get to the chemicals from here, right? That's the next question, is how do we go deeper? Like, how do we dig deeper into this to understand what's really happening? What happens is we all have a brain. Where am I up to? I've got my dot points here. We all have a brain at some level. And I know you're probably thinking some people, Aaron, man, I know this guy, I'm not sure. But at some level, we all have a brain, right? And the brain is split up into three main areas, but we're going to look at two here, right? Two main areas. We have the conscious mind and we have the unconscious mind, right? Conscious mind is the biggest part of our brain, but yet unconscious mind is where we process most things. Cool, right? So conscious mind, that's like the neocortex, that's the biggest part of our brain. The unconscious mind, where we're looking at kind of the amygdala area, moving down to the cerebellum, this is unconscious. Me, got a big brain. What happens here, right, is when a person's going through life and they go to walk through the door at the gym and their brain says to them, I'm going to be judged if I do this. I'll look like a Gumby if I lift weights a certain way. If I ask for a promotion, my boss will decline me and I'll feel like shit. Got it? You got this? And, I'm made redundant. Straight away thoughts are, I'm not enough. I'm not going to be able to provide for my family. All the problems are coming. These automatic thoughts that are firing off, you ready? Here's some data for you. Give you some data. This is the neuroscience. Are like a 5-lane highway of information. 5-lane highway of information. Of negative information. Cool. Not you, Rob. You're not a loser. But you know what I mean? Yeah, cool. I saw your comment. Bombarding the front of the brain with information. 5-lane highway. So let's say you said you want to start a coaching business, but you're like underneath it's will people want to work with me? I have to put myself out. They're going to judge me. Who would love to nail social media? Just give me some type social. Who would love to nail social media? Yes. Social. So I'm going to do a live video, but as I'm picking up my phone to do a live video, your friends are going to judge you. They're going to think you're an idiot. They're going to think you woo-woo. All these thoughts come in. So you have this one goal of I want to be a life coach. But underneath this is I want to become a life coach. But in the back of the brain is all the reasons why you can't do it. If we don't walk on these automatic thoughts, this one goal is going to be very hard to accomplish. Whether that's becoming, like you think about this, right? Somebody's in a relationship. They come home from work and their partner says to them, why are you late? Straight away that's taken, you ready? The experience is the experience. The sensor's taking the information. The brain then says, I'm being judged. I'm not enough. I'm never going to be enough. This person doesn't love me. This is all the information here. But I want to have a really lovely relationship. This 1-lane driveway has no hope against this information. And then the brain just goes, what are you judging me for? Ready? That feeling comes down of being judged. The behavior comes to snap at the partner. I grew up in a family watching this. My parents all the time. Just on cycle, on repeat. And it was like, man, you know what? I'm 39 now. You go back to a 17-year-old me. I was like a freaking spitting image at the time of their relationship. Does this make sense? Like, we have to do the work. If we don't do the work, this does not actualize. Our clients, this is why our clients seek out life coaches. I want to be better at something. I want to be more connected at something. I just want to be different than I am now. I want to expand and evolve. Our job is to help them get there. Cool. Makes sense. So what happens, right? Let's dig deeper. How are we going for time? I'm nearly done. Oh, we got 8 minutes. Dude, I'm gonna crush it. Let's go 2 more levels here. Let's go two more levels. So we got the brain. Did you get how this? Ready? Oh, sorry. Firstly, how long it takes to uncover this information? I'll give you some data. How long it takes to uncover this information? Number one is it takes 7 days. Now here's the oxymoron. We are not aware of these. Makes sense. They're pop-ups on a pop-up browser. They just unconsciously pop up. It takes 7 days to uncover them. So if anyone ever says to you that I can transform your belief systems, you're in a 5-minute, 20-minute session, based on neuroscience, not true. Make sense? Comprendo? Type yes in the comments if that makes sense. How does it take 7 days? Through certain writing processes, through certain ways of doing this. Like we have a writing process in our diploma, and for 20 days, they write down all of the automatic thoughts that they're becoming aware of, right? It takes 7 days to find out which ones are the most prominent, which ones hold the most weight, which ones are getting said the most. Does this make sense? That way, if we're looking at ever going, cool, we're going to now jam information into the brain. So let's say you have the goal here, and we want to jam that information into the brain. You need to know what you're working. This is why on day 3, when we go through the coaching intervention, it's going to be so powerful because we can start to loosen up those links. I'll if that makes sense. So it takes 7 days to uncover them. Minimum 7 days. And then it takes 67 days to shift them. Now remember, how long does it take to shift a behavior? Up to what? How long does it take to shift a behavior? It takes 254 days. To shift an automatic thought, which is dictating the behaviors we run, is only 67 days. Now the other thing is a behavior is only surface level issues. Let's say a person wants to go to the gym, but they never deal with the I'm not enough. Even if they create the behavior of going to the gym, it's still from that belief system of not enough. Does this make sense? Where if you help a person deal with the I'm not enough as a life coach, guess what? You start to automatically shift all of that information. Who thinks that's mind-blowing? Who thinks that's crazy? Cool stuff, right? Alrighty, yeses. Bring them on. So what happens here? 67 days to change, 7 days to uncover. Now, how do these, though, cause a person to fail? And if we have enough time, how do then we create success? We'll probably do that tomorrow, actually. How do these cause us to fail? We all have a battery. This battery, one could call it willpower. Oh, my headphones. One could call it willpower. The battery could be our decision-making ability. This is our threshold of frustration and being able to achieve things. Does that make sense? Give me some yeses. This is our daily battery. We have this every day. Now, what happens is we all have a threshold that when this battery's hit, we fire off an automatic quit response. Automatic quit. These automatic thoughts, negative automatic thoughts, if we keep telling ourselves we're not enough, we're never going to make it, you're never going to be enough, you're never going to be worth it, your partner's never going to love you, your kids won't love you, you're a horrible parent, all of this, all of that information, what happens is when we're saying that to ourselves, we're increasing a chemical inside our brain called noradrenaline. Type Nora in the comments. We liking this so far? We enjoying it? We think it's cool? Good shit? Yeah! Bring it. I love this. I live for this. Yeah, I used to run a $10,000 retreat in Bali, right? And it was all based on getting to this level. So they have to go to like first level, second level. We love the content that much. We're like, screw this. Man, everyone can have it. Who thinks this is like really needed? Who thinks this is really needed inside coaching and life? Man.
Definitely.
But people don't talk about it. I don't get it. It blows my brain. So we increase, every time we say we're not enough, we're increasing this noradrenaline in our brain. Now, what happens is, when this person says, they're coming home, they're thinking the kids are going to be bouncing off the walls, there's toys everywhere, they're already increasing this level of noradrenaline inside their brain. Noradrenaline, adrenaline, this is the levels we need, right? Mind you, noradrenaline is needed. It's just when it's chronically experienced all day, every day, this is where it's unhealthy. I'll leave that makes sense, noradrenaline. So, what happens is that parent comes through the door and then they tread on the toy, and that fires off this noradrenaline and it just goes bang, straight through that threshold. And all of a sudden, their brain just goes, I quit. I'm going straight to what's automatic for me, and I'm just going to respond. I've seen, like, one of my sisters go, ready for this? I love her dearly. And I wouldn't say her name here, even though I've only got one. I'm kidding, I don't have one. I have more than one sister. I've seen her being like on social media, being a great parent, loving and kind and beautiful, and love my kids are queens. You got this gist, right? You got 4 girls. But then, like, I'll go to her house and you walk in the door and she'll be like, shut the fuck up, nah! It's like, dude. What, like, this quit response, and it's human. People are natural. Like, it's like we go through this stuff. But these automatic quit responses are what causes that to happen. You ready for this? Here's a quick stat. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. If somebody sleeps less than 6 hours in one night, that automatic quit response, you ready for this? It decreases. So instead of being up here, it goes down to here. It decreases 60%. So what normally wouldn't piss a person off, guess what? It's just like firing on all cylinders. I'll let that make sense. Now, what happens here though, right, is we have another chemical. And this is what we'll finish up today, right? We'll finish up today. We'll finish up here. So we have one more chemical. And this chemical has the ability to suppress the levels of noradrenaline. And it's called dopamine.
Oh, wow.
So type dopamine or dope. Call it dope because dopamine is dope. Dopamine is you ready? Is our motivation chemical. So people say if you have a strong enough why, you will do it. Got it? Like, don't worry about the how. If you have a strong enough why, you'll make it happen. That's actually not true. Dopamine is our motivation chemical. So when we fire off dopamine, we get motivated to move towards an outcome, a goal. If your why is tightly linked to value systems, if your why produces dopamine and enough dopamine, it can move you in the direction you want to go. Let me know if this makes sense. Yes. You ready for this? Here's like a cool, like we're going deep here, but here's a cool conflict thing. How many people like cleaning? Type yes or no. How many people like cleaning? Here's a really cool value conflict when it comes down to dopamine. How many people? No, sometimes no, yes, couple yeses. Swear words. Insert swear words here. Me, not so much. No. Okay, so check this out, right? Deborah loves cleaning. Good for you, Deborah. Love you for that. Awesome. Don't like cleaning. But who doesn't like mess? Who hates mess? Just type the word H.
Oh,
letter
I hate
H.
mess.
Who hates mess? So let's say, for example, somebody doesn't like cleaning. So this is a negative, right? I don't like cleaning, but I don't like mess more than cleaning. Guess what? That dopamine is released and you do the behavior. This is why when your room may get a certain type of messy before you clean it. This is the ebb and flow of noradrenaline dopamine. Does this make sense? Give me some yeses. Pretty cool, right? On the flip side, let's say you want to achieve a goal. Let's say you're here, I'm never going to make it, I'm not going to smell to anything, I suck, I'm never going to be a great coach, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. Like, how many people would love to get paid $2,000 per client? How many people? Give me some, man, blaze it up. Man, make it rain. You get paid like $2.5 grand, $5 grand per client, of course. Yes, bring it hundredfold. Now, think of this, right? If we can create, and this is where we'll go tomorrow, so we'll talk about change work tomorrow, more change work tomorrow. This is more about why we fail. If a person says, my goal is I want to make, $2.5 grand per client, make it rain, whatever that is, yet I'm not enough, never going to be worth it. If that negative outweighs that positive, this is the process we go through.
Oh, wow.
This is why many people quit, why many people fail. They just fail because the noradrenaline has fired off quit responses and they're just like, I don't want to do it. Where if you create like a system inside your brain where it's like, you know what? Remember, dopamine is the subjective view of the world. Subjective. That means that your world is not me telling you something. It's how you tell yourself the world you live in. Holler if that makes sense. It's a subjective view that fires off dopamine. Outside of obviously achieving things, but dopamine that we're working with here is a subjective view of how we see the world. So if you're like, you know what, I've got this. Right, yeah, you're not worth it yet. You're not enough yet because we haven't practiced. We haven't put the effort in. Is this making sense? Like you can't lie to yourself here. Like you're very cold, and you say to yourself, "I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot." Your body's like, "No, bro, I'm cold." It makes sense?
Yeah.
Like if you get into an ice bar and it's freezing cold and it's hurting you, and you're like, "No, I'm warm, I'm warm, I'm warm." Your body's like, "Dude, no, we are cold right now. Get out." That threshold will just go straight to it. But if you're like, you ready? If you sit in the cold and you start saying to yourself, "You know what? I've got this. I can handle this. I can handle the pain. I can do this. Just one more minute. Just one more second. You got this?" The dopamine is now starting to override the noradrenaline. Who thinks that's freaking cool? You wake up one day and your brain's like, you're not going to make it. You're never going to amount to anything. People are going to judge. You got one comment. You got one comment on your post. You should never post again. But the brain's like, no, you know what? One more post. I just want to help that one person today. If my post just helped one person today, guess what? Dopamine. Bang, put the post out. Does this make sense? Cool stuff, right? So, did we learn enough? Sorry, 4 minutes over. My bad. Do we have any questions? That's lovely. Not ignoring, but increasing confidence. Yeah, and this is the point. The point of growth is we're gradually training the brain to view the world a little bit differently.
What you want to do?
And we're training it to fire off more dopamine and less noradrenaline. Noradrenaline, as soon as you put effort into the world, you experience noradrenaline. We can't get away from it. And it's okay. It's good to be there. But if our life is driven by noradrenaline, we will quit and fail all day, every day. When your client quits, you haven't failed. You've just learned a threshold where you're experiencing right now. And remember, if that person sleeps less than 6 hours in a night, that threshold's down here. You know what? Take a break. I have clients, right? We have clients where they want to build out a coaching business, and it's like, bro, buddy, you're working full time. You've got 4 kids. One of them's autistic. You've got a partner that you need to love, and you've been grinding for 6 freaking months. Like my job, like I work a couple of days a week. Like I have a really good lifestyle, and I've worked to be here, right? And it's like sometimes you need to take a day off. Sometimes you need to take a weekend off. Sometimes you need to say, what is the one thing I want to do this weekend that if I did it, I would feel absolutely amazing. That is the reset of this system. Who agrees that you need to sleep well? If you don't sleep well and you're living down at 30% capacity, you're in trouble. Like you've got some, what was the automatic thoughts flowchart? It goes thoughts, choices, behaviors, experiences, emotions. Let me know if you got that. Sleep is hugely important. But our job as coaches is to say, you know what? It's cool. You've got this. One more time. Okay, you went to the gym 3 times this week. You didn't get the 4. Let's go for it next week. Let's go for 3 again next week. That you're in their corner saying, let's keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. You've got this. Teaching a client how to produce dopamine. That's your biggest strength. Like your biggest core strength as a life coach is going, can I help you keep overcoming adversity? That's it. Because as soon as we put effort outside of ourselves, like as soon as we do what's not reflexive, heart pumping when we're walking, how many people go to your job? How many people we'll talk about this tomorrow. How many people could do their job basically with their eyes shut? That's a metaphor. I'm not saying your eyes are shut, but you literally just get into your job, you turn the computer on, you jump in the car, like driving to work, jumping on a train, like you just run that on autopilot all day, every day. As soon as you step outside of what that norm is, produce noradrenaline. Our question is understanding our client's threshold, because your client's threshold may be down here, down in the very bottom. And as soon as they don't jump on a train and they have to go to work another way, they're like, screw that, I'm not going to work today. Because I'm just so used to these patterns and behaviors. Woo! I'm falling asleep, if not completely by 9 hours. Yeah, sleep, yeah. All right, any questions? Any questions? We're done for today. Big love. How many people enjoyed it? Give me some. What was your favorite part, please? What was your favorite part?
All of it.
What did you enjoy the most today? Loved it. Man, epic, epic. Thank you. Awesome, brilliant presentation, cool. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Omar, we'll talk about Anna. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about more about dopamine. Josh. Automatic thoughts were a favorite. My favorite part, thought, yes. Thank you so much. Anna, thank you so much. Cool. Excited for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll dig one more level into this before we move on. One more level into this, and that will be how do we create change. So how do we now leverage this to create change? What happens in the brain and body? We're done, bring experience, so many good smiles, so yeah, bring on the laughs. Just remember, our job as a life coach is to help a person achieve goals. That's it. Help a group of people achieve goals. Second part of a life coach is to understand that everybody experiences the world their own way. That's it. Everybody experiences the world their own way. Our job is to understand their way. What are their thresholds? What are their automatic thoughts? What's happening in their life? So we're not talking about trauma here. We'll talk about this on the third day, or maybe tomorrow even. I might even try and dig into this a little bit. But we don't need to dig into the trauma to help a person achieve a goal. This is the main point of this course, this event. We can help a person just understand their chemical reactions, what's happening, so we can help them just better their life that little bit at a time to achieve an outcome, achieve a goal. So tomorrow we'll dig deeper into this. We'll have a look at business, a little bit around business and what you can do, where, how much time to spend on what. Should I learn more? Should I spend more time? Sales and marketing on social media, what social platform. We'll try and dig in as much as possible within that hour. Cool? So get some sleep tonight, right? Get some sleep. Get some good sleep. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out. Big love to you. Guys, we need more people in the world at the moment doing this stuff. There's a lot of people in pain. A lot of people need help. And as people start losing their jobs, and like over the next 5-10 years, we are going to go through a big shift in people struggling with purpose. This is where you come in, helping people uncover, tap into their purpose beyond what's just in front of us now. So big love to you. Thank you so much for being here. See you, Robert, James. Catch you later, Tani. Big love. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay.